Back on TYT Sports Champions League coverage. I mean, what are you expecting me to say? Expecting that for the tiniest little moment I thought that Celtic could get something from Bayern Munich? Yes, I did. Hope. It's the worst thing as a sports fan. Easily the worst thing. Hope. I mean, but whatever you expect, Bayern Munich came out. Celtic's marking was poor. Just far too often trying to play the offside trap and allowing for the guys like Lewandowski and Müller to get free looks on goal is never going to work out well. But I'm not going to spend that discussing the fact that Celtic lost to Bayern Munich. I'm going to talk about the best game that I've watched in the Champions League so far when I was going between both games. And that game happened to be Chelsea versus Roma. On a brief note, is there ever a moment where there's not a siren in New York? It's just every time I go to film, there's a siren. It's as if no one wants me to film without that. Regardless, Chelsea-Roma. What a game. Chelsea come flying out the blocks. 2-0 up they go. Lucky deflection from Morata's ball in lands... from Morata's attempted shot lands at the feet of Eden Hazard. Those two going forward seem to really have a good partnership. Counter-attacking football. I never realised Morata was that quick. But when they go forward together, they look devastating. So things were going perfect until Roma found their footing. And it was Kolarov who had pretty much a dire end, I thought, to his Man City career defensively, but he was always a threat going forward. Tore Chelsea apart, just slices through the middle of them, shot deflected, goes by Courtois, and Roma are right back in the game. And then Edin Dzeko scores the best goal of the Champions League so far. There's no doubt in my mind how hard of a technique it is to watch a ball coming over the top of a defender and catch it on the volley. Van Persie used to do it instinctively for him, but he was naturally left-footed and most of them were with his left. Dzeko, I don't think, may be wrong, the way he smacked that in, he looked like he was left-footed, and he catches it on the volley, and it was simply one of the best goals I've seen in the Champions League campaign so far. Very difficult technique, and then he capitalises on that and he puts Roma 3-2 up. I love the Roma support. Their passion is remarkable, and they were going bananas when Roma eventually went 3-2 up, and then Hazard can't stop scoring either, glances in a header. But the game itself was so entertaining. I feel like some Champions League games, like most groups are going to plan at the moment. Most things are working out as expected. PSG 4-0 win over Anderlecht. Barcelona are perfect at the moment, 3-1. Manchester United winning 1-0. But this was a game that reminds us of the excitement of the Champions League because it's been often pre-predicted, I think. And this was a game that I expected Chelsea to run away with it in the first half when I was watching it, and good to see Roma bounce back and to see both teams really going at it. So I think Roma thoroughly deserved a point. Some people argue they deserved all three, but I think Chelsea deserved a little bit more credit than that from the way they started the game. So that's my takeaway from the Champions League this week. I don't think it was worth discussing over the space of two clips. The games, most things went expected. PSG still look good, still look frightening. Anderlecht are pretty much woeful, in my opinion, at the moment, and that's even with Celtic beating them with ease away from home. So Celtic still looking good running for the Europa League, but don't count us out. You never know what could happen at the Parkhead. You never know what could happen against Bayern Munich. We don't know. Comment in the section below. Francis M. Maxwell, all on Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. Peace.